Good girl, Rosey. Okay, break. Rosey. Oh, we're anticipating touch. Yes. Sit. Yes, good girl. Okay, Rosey. Place. Yes. Sit. Yes. Down. Yes, good girl. Good job, Rosey. Good girl. Okay, Rosey. Break. Okay, sit. Yes, good job. Down. Yes, good girl. All right, this video is going over the place command, which is used to put Rosey in a specific location. Now, what I mean by specific is whatever it is you're pointing to, and that thing just needs to have some level of boundaries. We use elevated dog beds here because they create such nice, well-defined boundaries, given that they are up off the ground. However, you can absolutely use a regular dog bed or a blanket, the scale at the vet, a bench in the park. The list goes on and on. You can get really creative with it, but the goal here is to make it universal. And the whole purpose, again, is just to have her stay there until she's released using our release word, which is break. Break! And you can kind of hear how I actually say break too. But break is a release word that we use for place. We also use it for stay, and we use it for a heel too. So if she's in a heel and we want to give her more slack to go potty on the leash or something, we can say break at that point as well. And although it sounds like a command, it's actually meant to be a verbal signal to her that her work is over, at which point she is free to go do whatever she wants within the rules and boundaries we have set. So you don't need to mark yes for break or say good break. You can play with her, you can pet her, but we won't mark yes, because again, we just want it to be her signal that her work is over. Now, some real life examples of when you might want to use the place command. One of my favorites is with the scale at the vet. Just because they need to get up on the scale. It's rectangular. It kind of resembles the elevated dog bed, but it can be a challenge to get dogs up there because it feels a little funky on their paws, given that it is metal and can be kind of cold and weird. So, and they're kind of in a stressful environment at that point too. So when you're introducing something brand new as place, so next time you take her into the vet, you're going to just lure her on and off. And this goes for any time you're introducing something brand new, but you'll just lure her on the scale and then off the scale, on the scale. And then on maybe the third or fourth, once you're confident that she knows how to get on and off, then you can start using it as place. So next time you go to the vet, pack some of her kibble and tell the vet tech when they call her back and it's time for her to get weighed, just say, hey, she just got back from training. She practiced place. Would it be okay if we tell her to place on the scale? But first, I just want to show her how to get on and off of it since it's something new. And they should have no issue with you doing that, and it'll make future visits go a little bit smoother too, the more you practice. Another example is if the doorbell rings. Now, some people will assign a different command to use if the doorbell rings, like go to your bed or go crate, etc. But I really like place, because that way if you take her somewhere new, whether she's at a friend's house, a family member's house, you move, etc., she knows, all right, doorbell rings, and she's going to look to you to figure out where she's going to go place. So if you want to work on this at home, you would just have one person stand outside, ring the doorbell, and then practice having her go to place every time the doorbell rings. In the beginning, I wouldn't have that person come inside, but that would be the next step. You can also just record the sound of the doorbell on your phone and play it for practice, but sometimes it does help to hear the actual real thing and know where it's coming from. But that is a really nice way just to get her into a routine and add some structure when new people come over. I like this too. I will do the same with my dogs, and if I don't know who's at the door but I need to answer it, having them in place in the living room is really great. If I know, one of their favorite people is coming over, and our 1-year-old Dane, who is still learning, of course, she's still a puppy, I might put her in place in her room. That way she's out of the way, or in the kitchen, just so she doesn't rush the door or get too tempted. But if I don't know who they are, I like having my dogs really close by so they can just stay in the living room while I answer. All right, so again, just to review, place, we're putting her in her specific spot. Our hand signal is just pointing to whatever it is, yes, we are using. Make sure, again, that you're pointing in close proximity. We're not going to point from, across the room or across the yard. Dogs don't have the same ability to decipher what it is we're pointing to, so you're going to point nice and close. You'll mark yes when all 4 paws are up, and then you can tell her to sit or lay down, since we want her nice and comfy, since she's meant to stay here until we release her. I'm not giving her treats typically for going place. I'm typically giving her treats after she's released, or for sit or down, which she does kind of stacked on top of the place command. So And again, we don't have to mark yes or break. We can simply just say, hey, break. And then we can engage it there. All right, please let me know if you have any questions about the place command.